Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, if you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 15 minutes to the start of the radio side of things. So there you are. Have at it. Let's get Cord up here. There's his number. You bet. There you have it. Morning, Waylon.
How's it going, sir?
Cord, how are you?
Pretty good. How are we coming in today?
You're all right. Where you at?
At my house here on speaker. Riley's with me. Hi,
Okay.
Scott.
Hey. Let's see here. I got to give him. I can't even find my damn pen. There it is. All right.
Or do you want to call him and then we take it off speaker? Or?
You know, I wonder if that might not be better, Cord.
Okay.
Because I can put both you guys on. It might sound a little better than speaker.
Okay.
What's his number?
701-690-5790.
Okay. I'll call you here shortly.
Okay.
Bet. Alrighty. So let's do this.
You've reached Riley at Liberty Precision Machine. If you can just leave me a message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Well, that didn't work, Cord.
He's trying to call you now.
Oh, he's trying to call me. Okay.
Sorry,
There you are.
all right.
Okay.
How are we now?
There's a little echo in it. Are you guys standing next to each other?
A little bit.
Yeah, we're
Are
a
you
little bit.
Are you still on speaker?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not either.
Okay, now it's coming. Now you got it. We got you now. Good enough. All right. Yeah, that way it comes in a little bit more
We're
clear.
going to have to sit on opposite sides here.
Oh, you shouldn't be too far apart. It should be okay. The system should correct itself after you talk a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of smart like that.
Yeah, for some reason. The only thing is my studio phone that I have here has been compromised. Hackers actually can call my phone, and I don't use it unless it's Saturday, right? And there's no voicemail and nothing tied to it, but for somehow they have because it's an IP, it's a VoIP system. They hack into my phone during the week, and they make like thousands of calls, long distance calls out of that scamming. It's basically scamming people. So my long distance bill was like $700 this month, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
You have to call them and fight with them about that?
No, my phone company, they're on top of it. They noticed it was happening. They took the charges off, and they're putting some starting on Monday, they're going to put some new software on my phone system here and my router system and the whole works.
What the heck?
Yeah. The joys of having internet is good and also can be kind of a pain in the ass.
Well, I don't know why all these hackers all the time and all these scammers. It's like, really?
Must be a lot
with your life.
Got to be a lot of money involved in it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Riley, what's your last name?
Decker, Decker.
Okay. Liberty Precision Machine, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Cord, are you still running for any office?
No.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I lost the last one.
Don't give up, man. Don't give up.
I'll see where it goes here in a little bit.
Yeah. Don't give up.
Just right now, no. Talk to me in 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know. I was very disgusted with how the amount of mailers I got just mailed to me from different organizations on the same people.
The Bergen Bucks were real.
Oh my God, it was just disgusting. I got so sick of it. I even posted that, I was like, there's like 14 of them in one day. I was like, seriously, people here. Station 70000 coming up, 8 o'clock, top of the hour here. And stations that is 700 on mark. Big Daddy and KGFX is on here. Good morning. Scott Bulgy out of South Dakota. We're going to be hot and windy here today. It's supposed to be like, 97 degrees today or something? Dave from Minnesota, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. All right, so we have a break at 15 after and again at 30 after. So if I cut you guys off, just that, and then you know what's going on. So there. So yeah, what else is going on, Cord? See, doing a little bit of stuff with the schools, getting dads involved in schools.
Trying to here get the Watchdog Dads program fired up again here after the Rona slowdown.
Good deal. The Corona conspiracy, I think I call it.
Boy, they managed to shut down all kinds of businesses.
Yes, they did. And produce a whole bunch of a society of lazy people.
Yeah. Unemployment's still kind of a big deal.
Nobody wants to work. $15 an hour. I seen going through Dickinson the other day, and do the night shift, you get 15. You do the day shift, you get 14. I'm like, can't remember where the hell that was.
Every fast food joint in town.
Was it? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, well, what do you do?
Yep.
What gets me is I had a part on my swather. I had my gearbox up at Butler, and they had to get the part from California. It took 6 days because the company that was picking up the part on the coast, they had to be union, and something happened or he got pulled over and he wasn't running DEF in his semi. So they had to unload the entire load, find somehow to get it across the California border, and then put it in a regular shipping truck and get it up here. So it took a little bit longer. Jeez. That was awesome.
Yeah, parts are real right now, trying to get different things for materials, raw materials, machining. That's a good business to be in as anyone with a machine shop.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get the raw material, that might be an issue as well.
Yeah, heck, me and Riley were just talking here earlier about how raw materials are becoming an issue. Yeah. He's having a hard time finding nickel components.
Yeah.
A lot of that comes from Russia.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, especially over the last 18 months or so, it's been an issue, but prices have more than doubled and supply has been hard to get. But it seems like prices are starting to come down some.
Really?
But you also have to order, 3 or 4 months ahead of time to make sure you reserve the material, which doesn't really make sense to me. But, it's do what you can, I guess, especially being a smaller shop like we are. It's hard to order, several thousand, tens of thousands of dollars of material ahead of time and, not have that cash in the bank account while you're waiting for it. So.
Yeah, I hear that. We're looking at even at Consolidated, the pedestals that we're using for hooking up fiber to the homes and everything there's no quality control anymore. Half 90% of the ones that we got in, we had to ship back because They just inferior. And you look at different companies, no other companies making anything like that. Just a kind of tough one right now. No quality control at all. So, but we're going to start up here in about a minute and a half, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn you down and go quiet here. So the stations, I got to do some countdowns for them. So you'll hear the music start up. So stand by. And Eric, Thunder Valley drag racing this weekend. I should have went down there. All right, station 7:05 or 8:05 Central Time coming up. Once again, 8:05 Central Time on mark. Going quiet until the show starts, stations. Good morning and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Heard on stations all across the Dakota Territory like KCJB in Minot, KLTC in Dickinson, K-Fire 550, Bismarck Mandan, KOLY in Mobridge, and Capital City Pier, South Dakota, KGFX. Good morning. Good to have you along here today as we get to talk a little bit about guns and situations and suppressors and all kinds of information coming up your way. My guest on today's program, got two of them here today. Andrew Cordenoy, he is with Cerberus Security out of Dickinson, and Riley Decker, Liberty Precision Machine. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for joining me on the program this morning. How's it going today?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Doing good here.
All right, Cord, let's start with you right away. As Cerberus Security, you helped me get my last suppressor. And let's talk a little bit about suppressors right now. How hard is it to get them with this administration? I know the e-forms came out a while back, was supposed to make it, from 10 months down to 150 days. Is that still true, or is it taking a little bit longer?
Right now we're sitting at around 4 or 5 months, more along that 5 month time frame. When it first came out, they were kind of talking about 90 days or less. And when it first came out, there was a couple 2 month stamps, but now we're sitting at around that 5 months. So it has reduced it from, if we do paper forms, it's 15 months right now.
Really?
So
wow.
This is helping.
It is. It's definitely helping. And I have a hard time shooting any rifle that doesn't have a suppressor. I mean, it's kind of like once you have one, I think it's just a more civil way of going hunting. And are you
game changer?
It's a huge, and it's not like you're sneaking up on animals any better or anything like that, but it's easier on the ears. It seems like you have better trigger control and you don't fight that stuff, So I don't know. Do you see that happening? I mean, is suppressor sales good right now?
Suppressor sales always go up and down depending on the seasons, especially people think about it during the hunting times, but then realize that there's a bit of a wait. So
Sure.
It's kind of always steady on different stuff. Middle of summer slows down for a bit while people are on vacation, and then fall picks up again.
Yeah, the time I called you, I've been trying to talk my buddy into getting a suppressor forever, and he's like, I always forget about it. He says, I suppose I won't get here before antelope season starts. I'm like, probably not. You're probably not going to get one here until next year's hunting season. But when it comes to predator season, what a game changer it is for coyote hunting.
Yeah, for coyote hunting, I mean, not only is it the sound suppression, but it's also the flash signature. If you're doing a nighttime coyote hunting, it helps for that and helps save any night vision or thermal equipment you might be working with.
A lot of people say that night vision and thermal has ruined coyote hunting. What say you? What do you hear in the gun talk around that?
It's not going to ruin coyote hunting. It's however much effort you want to put into it on some stuff. If you want to go out in the middle of the night when everyone else is sleeping, or if you want to try going in the daytime, it's all up to you.
Exactly. Well, let's talk on the machining side of things. Riley Decker with Liberty Precision Machine. Good morning to you, sir. And you're working alongside and helping build these suppressors. What's the hard thing right now for you on the suppressor building side of things? Is it materials?
Yeah, we design and make our own lineup of stuff here in Dickinson. And yeah, currently the tough part is manufacturing of it, getting materials in, and pretty soon here, finding labor. We just doubled our manufacturing capabilities. So in the next month or two, maybe 3 months, we're looking at hiring some machinists to come in and help run the machines and make parts for us. So yeah, material has been hard to get. Prices are going up. You have to order several months in advance, but we're making do. But things could be better as far as that stuff goes.
What type of laws are restricting you? I mean, you can build these, but you cannot sell them. I mean, so you got to go through somebody like Cord in order to sell this. What do you have to do to? Do you have to get inspected in order to machine these things?
So we have to have our federal firearms license, just like Cord does, and we also need to have an SOT, a special occupational taxpayer, and that's a fee that you pay every year in order to be able to deal with NFA items like silencers and short barrel rifles. Okay. So we have to have that licensing, and then every single silencer we make, we have to file a Form 2, which adds it to the registry for the ATF. And then once we sell a silencer to a dealer, we Form 3 it to them. So we fill out a Form 3. That takes a couple days to get approved. And once that's approved, we can mail it to the dealer, and the dealer can start the paperwork for the customer, which is a Form 4. So there's at least 3 forms in the process of selling a silencer. We can sell direct to anyone in North Dakota, but out of state, we have to go through a dealer.
Sure.
And we don't really have any interest in doing direct sales and stuff. So that's why we sell to dealers like Cord here in town. We just don't really have the manpower to do the paperwork and keep track of all that stuff. So,
right. In the same thing, when I was down in South Dakota, one of the machine shops down there that does suppressors, Lane LLC, and I had to use Cord in order to get that on the North Dakota side of the border. So, I mean, there are people that you work with across there. Have you seen more and more people manufacturing suppressors in the Dakota Territory? Because I know the guy to Sioux Falls, you got Lane LLC, they got Mac Brothers, you got yourself. Just off top of my head, I know 4 people in North and South Dakota. Do you see quite a few more of these suppressor machine shops going up?
As far as the Dakotas, I'm not aware of any other ones. I know nationwide, there's definitely been a large influx of people entering the market, or manufacturers entering the market. It's been pretty stagnant design-wise and technology-wise for the last decade. So there's a lot of improvement to be made there, and innovation there.
My next question was, is there any new designs? Is it getting any quieter? There's only so much you can suppress the sound until there's really nothing more you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of improvements to be made. There's actually, and one big driver of that is this company called Pew Science. They're a research cooperative, and they're a test laboratory. So what they do is they sound test silencers, and they take measurements of the waveform, and they run it through a human inner ear model that the Army developed. And with that, they're able to calculate hearing damage risk. So they're not just giving you a one number, it's 140 dB or anything like that. It's an actual dosage. Like, okay, you can shoot roughly 10 rounds with this silencer on this platform without having hearing damage.
Really?
So that's they've really, and they do great work. They've really kind of shown the differences between different silencers in the industry.
And
so that's been a huge.
And how does yours rank?
Very, very well. When he published the results on his website. He called it a next generation silencer. And it's a very like engineering technical article. It's not very, consumer friendly in that way, but he was very, very impressed. And for the length of our silencers, they're the quietest on the market for like a bolt action, like hunting rifle type gun.
Excellent.
So our 6.5 inch Anthem S is quieter than most companies' 8 or 9 inch full size silencers. So you're saving, 1.5 inches, 2 inches off the end of your barrel and being quieter at the same time.
Well, I tell you what, we're coming up against our first break. We're going to continue talking suppressors. And if you want more information or questions, comments, 701-425-6651 or call the toll-free number. Back after these.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeiffers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition all across the Dakota Territory and around the world. If you're watching on my live YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio, thank you so much. Good to have you along here. Andrew Cordnoy with Cerberus Security. And Cord, I hope I pronounced that right because their last name really gets me. It really messes me up.
You actually got it right. I'm surprised. That's why I just go by Cord.
Yeah. And Riley Decker with Liberty Precision Machine are with me here as my guests. And during the break, I have a few text messages and some questions. So, Cord, we're going to start with you. What are the laws on using somebody else's suppressor and gun?
You can use someone else's suppressor and gun as long as they're present. Otherwise, you have to be added onto the form, kind of like a trust or whatever, amended onto there as being a responsible person. But as long as they're present, kind of like a youth shooter within eyesight, so they have positive control of that item, you can use it all you want.
Okay, but they have to be there in person with you.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to take it hunting somewhere else without them being present, then gets to be more different stuff to legally do that. I mean, you can if that was originally put into a trust, an entity versus as an individual, and then you get added onto that, which isn't that complicated of a process. But otherwise, I mean, if it was an individual, it's near impossible.
Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. So if you're looking as a first-time suppressor purchasing person, why is it important to put it in a trust compared to just a regular form?
There's a couple ways to do your Form 4 transfer, which is individual, a trust, an entity like that, or a corporation. Corporation, it gets into all kinds of taxation stuff, so we never really talk about that at all. And then the other two is individual or trust. The entity owns it in a trust, and you're in charge of all the property in it. And then you can add people to it dynamically. Mm-hmm. Where if it's an individual, it's you and only you. And these things, they take months to get approved, and there's a $200 tax stamp approved with each one that goes to the IRS every time you do it. So if you do it as an individual and later on you want to add someone, it costs you an extra $200 on that.
Yeah.
And then an example I use on that is, let's say wife's going to work. She has a flat tire. I say, hey, jump into mine. I'll change over to your donut, take it in the repair shop. She jumps into my vehicle, and we have it as an individual, not as a trust. I have a suppressor in there. She could become a felon.
Really? Just by using your vehicle to go to work?
Well, because I have the item in there, and she took it away from my possession into hers. So that's why I have it in a trust, and all those items are now in that trust, and so she has right to ownership of all that as well. And you can also add other stuff into that trust as well. I put all my guns in that trust, so I don't own a personal firearm.
Huh.
So it helps give you additional layers of legal protection on stuff. If those, there's going to be a push across the nation for these red flag laws again, because the federal incentivizing of trying to pay states if they pass red flag laws. So I'm sure our next legislative session will see that one again. So this would be another layer of protection on that.
Okay, so you're saying that you register your guns in this trust?
I just give them to myself.
Okay, do you list the serial numbers on them? And I mean, so the way I'm going about this is, why would you want the government to know what exactly you have in your gun safe?
They don't.
They don't. Even though it's on that trust, they have no. Okay.
All they need to know is the one item that I'm transferring into that. They don't need to know all the other predecessors that were in there prior. So it's only when I do the form that I need to show them that that one item is going in there.
Are we ever going to get to a stage in the United States here, and it could be sooner than later, where you see a grandpa passing away, and the family goes through and gives this .22 rifle to this kid, and this one to this family member, and this one? Is that going to be a thing in the past? I mean, are we going to have to like have paperwork on everything to give? To let your kids have what you work so darn hard to build up for? Is that going to be something here in the future?
Well, they've been trying here for a while to make private NFA transfers illegal, to where you can't just give an item away. You can't within your family give one to your kids and stuff like that without going through a background check on stuff. And so they're going to have to go to a dealer for everything on this. And it's just getting problematic on there. I mean, they're trying to restrict things. That's not the problem. It's never been the problem. I mean, heck, back when you could buy guns off of the Sears Roebuck catalog, machine guns, and have them shipped straight to your house, we didn't have this problem.
Yeah.
So they're just propping up a straw man on trying to divert the real problem here, which is the mental health thing, which is a whole nother debate and conversation.
Not only mental health, Cord, but parenting.
Correct.
I'm going to throw that in there anyway. I know when people give me a hard time, they're like, "Well, Scott, you don't have any kids. Yeah, you're not a parent." I get that. I do, but I've dealt with a lot of children over my years of teaching, and there is some parenting issues out there. Some people do it great. Some people not so much.
Well, and that's why we do the different programs like the Watchdog Dads that we kind of been trying to do, where we mentor kids and help go into schools.
Yeah. Are we ever going to get some local people to run security in schools across the nation? Like yourself, a veteran, and or are we going to be able to do that? Or are the school boards just so against guns they think that a gun-free zone actually works?
That's if they would let us, there would be people in schools all the time.
Really? Yeah.
But different legislation, they won't let us. North Dakota, we opened up the armed first responder section within the Century Code in 62.1, I do believe. And it's not utilized because it's got to be at the approval of the superintendent of the school district. And most of the time they don't want to take on that liability. And so they just don't utilize it.
What liability would the school board have?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea why they are refusing to. They just don't want to have someone complain that there's a gun in the school. I'm guessing it's just they're trying to appease everyone by protecting no one.
When I was going to school, we drove to school, and some of us drove before we even had licenses, because my dad, we had milk cows. My dad didn't want me getting on the bus and missing milking in the morning and in the evening, because we lived so far away with the school bus, so he made me drive. And every single one of us country kids, we had a gun rack, and we had guns in our vehicles in the parking lots. Now that you can't even have that. What's changed?
Yeah, I mean, I was in school in the 90s, and that was like that then.
Yeah, it's
and then we go more and more, talking to like with the suppressors over in Europe. Suppressors are encouraged and completely legal everywhere.
Yeah.
It's some places you have to have them to hunt because it's a courtesy to other hunters.
Yeah. I think it should be like that here too. I mean, it's so much more civilized. It's just,
I don't want to force people. I don't want to go as far as saying like, hey, you can't hunt unless you have one.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But it should be easy enough to get where if you want to go hunting, you can buy one off of over the counter and just go put it on. You can't hurt anyone with a suppressor.
Exactly. And that's what really blows my mind, is the amount of paperwork you got to go through, and fingerprints and everything you got to go to get a suppressor. And that is not hurting anybody. It just blows my mind sometimes what the federal government laws and regulations are. Another text message question comes in, and this one might be for Riley. Do they thread barrels, or does anybody in the western side of the Dakotas thread barrels? And if so, name a few of them.
We don't do threading barrels for customers here. There's, I think, John Ackerman in Dickinson does them. He's on the north side of town, so you could they could reach out to him, maybe have him do them. I'm not sure of any other gunsmiths that would do that around here.
There's a gentleman out of Bowman that does. He did every one of mine. But
Okay.
the thing about getting your barrel threaded, and I'm going to respond to this text message a little bit too, is there's people out there that'll do it. But here's my recommendation: is have your suppressor before you get your barrel threaded, because take the suppressor in with it. That way they know they can thread it correctly and it fits on. I didn't do that to one of my barrels, and I have it's tight. Let's just put it that way. It's not easy on and easy off. That's for darn sure here. Coming up against our next break. Gentlemen, stand by here. Another 5-minute break. We'll come back in the second half of the program and take some phone calls. 888-932-5682. That's 888-9-DAKOTA, toll-free number. If you'd like to call in and ask a few questions, or you can always text them. We'll be back after these messages.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeiffers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good morning. You can catch my daily program on 20-some radio stations all across the Dakota Territory. You can also find it at dakotaprairieoutdoors.com. Good to have you along here this morning. Andrew Cordnoy is with Cerberus Security, Riley Decker, Liberty Precision Machine. And guys, I'm getting some text messages coming in. People just happy with their suppressors, no matter where they're buying them from here. One guy says here he likes it so much, not going to shoot any rifle or any gun without it. Another text message came in. He says, I just got approved for my suppressor. Bought it through another company here, and it said it is 5 days short of 1 year and 8 months to get it. Is that natural? 1 year, 8 months? I mean, that seems like an awful long time, isn't it?
Doesn't break my record for longest.
What's the longest?
I've had 2.5 years.
Why is that? Is there something with the background check that was a little skeptical?
Sometimes, well, the biggest issue I have with getting background checks rejected on stuff, usually if you can buy a gun, you can get a suppressor.
Yeah.
But if you've gotten picked up and had a case dismissed where it was dropped to like, hey, nothing's actually here, but you did get picked up, that goes on your record in the FBI database, and a lot of times they don't look deep enough. They just see there's something there and deny it. I'm going through that with one guy right now, and I did in the past, and that was my 2.5 year mark. He got rejected once. I had to actually print out his entire FBI file, highlight that all charges were dropped because it was all a confusion case, and send it in with the suppressor.
I see. So it can happen that long. So, I mean, if people have some skeptical things on their record, there's a good chance it might take a little longer.
Well, and the best thing is to clear anything up with your local sheriff's department if you do have anything on there, to try and get it expunged out and removed off your record completely.
Yeah. Now, Riley, let's talk a little bit about your suppressors that you're making here. I'm hoping I have your right webpage here, libertyprecisionmachine.com. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so people are looking at suppressors. Now, let's discuss a little bit about this, because there's a lot of different ones. I mean, show us here, you have muzzle devices, suppressors, and also some clothing line here. But if I'm shopping suppressors right now, and you're saying before the first break was yours are shorter and quieter. And that means a lot here, because I have one of the old original big tank suppressors. I mean, this thing is like 10 inches long. And I'm shooting a 26-inch barrel rifle. This thing is long, okay? I mean, you're not getting it in and out of the vehicle easy. I mean, it's like laying across the seat type of thing. So you're saying the technology now has become so much better that you can make them just as quiet, but a lot shorter. I mean, and I'm using 30 caliber devices because I use my 30 cal on all my rifles, is what I've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole thing that spurred this was for my own use, because we use, a 300 Win Mag or a 28 nozzle or something with, like you said, 26, 28-inch barrels. And you take that elk hunting with a 8-inch can on the end of it, and you can't walk through the woods without, smacking every tree branch above you for miles and miles and miles. So the whole goal was to make short silencers for hunting that are as quiet as possible for their size. So we have the Anthem K, which is a 30 caliber silencer, and that's only about 5.5 inches long, and it's plenty quiet for hunting use. A couple shots here and there. You're not going to ring your ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for hunting. That's what I personally run. And then we have the Anthem S, which is 6.5 inches. So it's, about an inch and a quarter longer. And that's just going to really step up your sound suppression to the whole nother level. So if you don't need the shortest, most compact thing in the world, go with the Anthem S. And if you want something, where every inch matters, you want it as tight and compact as possible, the Anthem K is definitely the way to go.
Now, for my South Dakota listeners, there's a couple different places in South Dakota. There's no doubt you can find a suppressor company pretty much anywhere. But if they're interested in looking at your suppressors because they're shorter and quieter, how do they get in contact and make sure that they can do across the border there, Riley?
Yeah, so they can go on our website, and we have a contact form on there. Like you said, it's www.libertyprecisionmachine.com. You can either send us your local dealer's information, and we can reach out to them and get their licensing and stuff and get the paperwork transferred. Or you can just go to your local shop that sells silencers, ask them to look into our stuff, and ask them to carry it, and let them know how to reach out to us, and we'll just handle it from there.
How is it to get other people to carry your products? Is it kind of a hard thing for them to go through, or is it simple?
The paperwork wise, it's not hard at all, but the hardest part being a new company is, getting your name out there and getting some brand recognition.
Yeah.
So if they don't want to carry stuff that doesn't sell, so they want, they try to carry mostly the big brands, but that's why we put so much effort into research and development and designing the silencers to be so efficient for their length.
Yeah.
So that, it's a good selling point for them to, use and push our products to the customers and make sure they're getting the best product possible.
Got a text message in here from a guy that hunts up in Golden Valley area quite a bit. He says, recently bought a YHM Resonator K 30 cal. I'm not familiar with that one at all. I guess I don't know if you are, Riley. And he said it's definitely not as quiet as his longer suppressors. So there evidently is other manufacturers out there trying to make them shorter, but definitely not as quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a pretty decent can for the size. That's a super, super short silencer.
Okay.
But you really gain a lot with length. So, a 5.5 inch silencer is going to be significantly louder than a 6 or 7 inch.
Yeah.
So you sacrifice a lot of sound performance going shorter, but for the people that need it, that want it for hunting, it's usually good enough for a couple rounds here and there.
So another thing is, we're going to talk, we got a text message says, what do you recommend for cleaning suppressors? But before we get to that, you see some of these people like, well, I ordered my suppressor online, or I went through this company or whatever, and they're not local. I'd like to shop local, especially when it comes to suppressors. And there's a 100% chance I'm going to come to you and get another one. There's no doubt about it. I want to see this. I want to support local businesses around the areas. Does that matter? You say some of these big stores, the big guys that are out there, and those name recognitions, they're not necessarily better than anything that these small producers like yourself are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the bigger companies are just kind of coasting on their past performances and their past silencer designs. And there's a new wave of smaller companies like mine that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible for a given size and weight. And most of the time you're probably getting a better product by going in the smaller company because we care. Like we have to make a good product in order to sell. We don't have the brand recognition to make bad products. So it's definitely important.
Yeah. So when you're looking at cleaning these things up here, I've read a lot of stories. There was one company that designed one that you could take apart and clean it all out. The very first one I have, my first suppressor, you cannot do that with. And some people are like, well, soak it in this and do this and take an air hose, blow it out. And then I started reading articles too. It says, don't touch them. Just shoot them. What's your take on this? Do you clean them? What do you recommend cleaning, or should I just let them go?
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of variables at play. So that's a tough one to give an exact answer on. But rimfire silencers, so your 22 long rifle, absolutely need to be cleaned. They get super dirty very, very quick. So every 1,000 to 1,500 rounds, you should be disassembling them and cleaning them. And most silencers now designed for rimfires are able to be disassembled for cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Our rifle silencers are all welded together, and there's no outer tube. So you save weight and you gain volume of air to suppress with. But that means they can't be disassembled for cleaning.
Right.
For most people, unless you're shooting, tens of thousands of rounds through them, you probably never have to clean them. One thing you can do is weigh it before you start shooting, and then once they gain, 1 to 2 ounces of buildup inside, then you can either put them in an ultrasonic cleaner, or actually you can send them back to us and we can clean it for you and then return it back to you.
Now, can we send any company's suppressor to you to clean, or are you just like, no, I'd recommend just sending yours? I mean,
just our own company stuff.
Okay.
Some manufacturers might do that as well. You'd have to reach out and ask them. But it's not a super common thing in the industry. It's kind of a non-issue. It's less of an issue than people think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything difference in mine. I've been shooting that one suppressor now for about, 6-7 years now. And I guess I haven't seen it. I always dial it in and readjust my scopes and everything every year before I get into the coyote season and hunting season, which is around the corner. There's no doubt about that. Assuming a text message comes in, says, assuming you keep the length constant, how much quieter have suppressors got due to improved design over the past several years?
It's hard to quantify that, because if you just go based on like peak decibel ratings, you're maybe saving 3 or 4 decibels, which this gets really complicated because decibels are logarithmic. So as you go up, the pressure hitting your ear goes up very, very quickly. So I think 6 decibels is about twice as intense to your ear. So 3 to 4 decibels, it's a big difference. That's why I like to compare lengths, because if you have a 5-inch silencer that's as quiet as a 7-inch silencer, that's obviously a huge improvement, because then your 7-inch silencer is as quiet as somebody else's 8 or 9-inch silencer, which is a big improvement, and then your 8 or 9-inch silencer is just above and beyond what's out there. So that's why I like using length as a measuring stick on how efficient something is.
Another text comes in, says, does your company, Liberty Precision Machine, by the way, if you want to check them out, .com, do you make suppressors larger than 30 caliber?
Not at this time. That's something we're looking into. It probably won't be anytime soon. We're looking at doing maybe a 9mm handgun silencer next. But again, that's going to be, I put a lot of time into designing and testing to make sure everything's, the best on the market and the best I can make it. So I don't rush anything to market. I don't, I don't want to make a bad product. So it takes time to do that, and it takes resources. So, I wouldn't expect any new silencers from us for probably 6 to 9 months at the least. Yeah. So
where are you located in Dickinson?
We're on the very south side of town. One of the very last buildings on the south side, right off the highway.
Okay. Yeah, the same guy that asked about that 30 caliber, he wants to suppress his 338 Lapua. Not sure what he's going to be hunting with it, but he wants to suppress it for some reason.
Oh yeah, there's some companies out there that make pretty good ones. That's just not on our radar right now. I'm sure we will eventually, but so keep an eye out. But nothing short term that we're going to be making for 338.
Yeah. Cord, going back to you now, before we have to let you both go here, we got about 5-6 minutes before the radio program. And what is on tap here, or what can you see coming up on the future for gun control legislation? We were talking about red flag laws. I think those are going to be more and more of an issue coming our way. But what do you expect? Whether it's statewide, North and South Dakota statewide, or even national, what do you see on the radar right now?
Well, nationally, they did that red flag incentivization here with their other budget package that they passed on different stuff. So they're going to try and dangle a carrot of money for the states to pass red flag laws. So that means North Dakota legislator, it's about guaranteed this next session, someone's going to try and come up with another red flag law.
Let's explain what a red flag law is.
Red flag laws where they you're accused of a crime, not prosecuted for it, or accused that you could potentially commit a crime in the near future, and they come and seize your guns without due process.
Okay. And this means like Scott Bachmeyer could say, I think court is dangerous, have no proof of it, and they could go in and seize everything you have.
Correct. And then it's very dangerous to the citizens as well as law enforcement. If you just, law enforcement coming in to serve this stuff, no knock warrants, coming in to seize things because they believe you're a threat, tension super high, you haven't actually committed a crime. And so you're just looking at causing undue tension and possible, conflict between citizens and law enforcement. And yet, once again, there's nothing that's happened yet. I mean, you have not committed a crime, and yet your property is being seized.
Isn't it something that, eventually something like this is going to pass legislation? And I think they're making, but I was reading on, I can't remember where I seen it, but it says like, once they started taking away masculinity, everything started to become soft in this nation. And I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. I don't know. What do you say, Cord?
No, that's a pretty good way to phrase it on some stuff. I mean, we used to take our kids out hunting and shooting. Like you say, we used to have gun racks in the back of our vehicles when we went to school. We'd be driving to school and see birds in the road ditch, bail out and get a couple, and there's no problem.
Yeah.
We'd be cleaning them in the parking lot when we were before class. That was how things went, and now it's just gotten to be so bad with that where we can't involve the parents in the school system as much. We can't let kids be kids a little and boys be boys is one of the biggest aspects. We can't train boys to be men in different ways.
Yeah. And why did it change? In your opinion, why has it changed so much?
I think it comes down to different controlling aspects. They want to take away, people's right to defend themselves so they're easier to control. Take away the masculinity on that so there's less pushback and less conflict if they do disagree with you.
Yeah.
And it all comes down, to higher levels of, governmental control on stuff. We saw a lot of that during, the past couple of years. We've been seeing them take away stuff and see how much we'll fight it.
You don't see many people constitutional carry anymore either. It's legal, right? And he's very few. I remember growing up as a kid, there was quite a few people that would carry. And you just don't see a whole lot of that anymore.
Well, we got, with North Dakota, we don't need to get the concealed weapons permit anymore. We do have an actual constitutional carry that went through. So we have a lot less people doing the concealed weapons permit. But we got a lot of people who carry yet. In this region,
Good.
Western side of the states, I know for sure.
Well, yeah.
And I would like to see it, more so, because if people are trained and willing, it makes the community safer as a whole.
So I was in Runnings and in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. And the person in front of me was open carrying. And I was like, cool, it's nice to see. It really is nice to see that. And after they checked out and went out of there, all the tellers at Runnings were like, can you believe he came in here with that? I can't believe he had a gun on him. So, you still have that perception from a lot of people that are scared. And that guy's probably, or it was both a guy and a gal, both are open carrying, and they probably put more training in than some police officers probably do.
Well, and it made that store that much safer the entire time. You think someone was going to come in and try and rob it when there's two people, a couple there open carrying right next to them?
Yeah. No, I always said that to my bank tellers. I accidentally walked in with my pistol on one day, and they're like, hey, Scott, you can't be in here with a pistol. I'm like, well, okay, I get it. I'm in a bank and everything. I said, but why aren't your tellers carrying? And she says, well, they don't need to because, you can't have guns in here. I'm like, I'm still standing here with my gun, having a conversation. It's like people can just walk right in. Wouldn't it be nice to have your tellers carry as well, especially open carry? What's that one restaurant they have at Shooters or whatever it is in Colorado? All the waitresses have to have a pistol on their side and the whole works. So anyway, Cord, Riley, I appreciate it. Go to Liberty Precision Machine if you're looking at suppressors, and Cord can also help you out with that. Cerberus Security. Thank you guys both here for coming on the program. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
You bet. I'll swing in one of these days here when I come up that way, and I'll see you too, Cord. Here, you guys have yourself a great day. Check out my daily program, DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com, or you can just listen to any one of these great radio stations and find it right there. Have yourself a good weekend. Stay cool. It's going to be a hot 6-7 days coming your way. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Enjoy. Stations, thank you so much. Cord, Riley, thank you guys again. Appreciate it. We're still on the YouTube side, so if anybody still has questions, they can put them in here real quick before I let you guys go. But where exactly are you, Riley? You're south side of town. What's by Steffes?
Yeah, we're between Steffes and the tank, the field that they have to store their tanks and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay, right there.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It used to be Dakota Church Furniture.
Yep.
We're in that building.
Oh, you are? Okay. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, I go by there quite a bit. Usually I come up from the south side if I'm coming up that way. So, But all right, Cord, we'll definitely talk with you later here. If there's anything either one of you guys need to get out, just let me know. I can put it on my show anytime.
Sounds good.
All right. You guys have a good day. I'm going to go work some cabs.
All right. Have fun.
All right.
Best of luck.
You bet. Catch you guys later. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
You bet. And thank you, YouTube, for having us here. Appreciate you guys calling in, checking in, texting in. It's a right to carry. Darn right it is. All right. Well, hey, you guys have a good day. I got to go get some fencing done, some cattle work done, and all kinds of good stuff. Have a good day. See ya.